Section 8B, Performance Evaluations. 8.5, Performance Evaluation Administration. The Performance Evaluation System is designed to provide a reliable, long-term, cumulative record of performance and potential. The key aspects associated with the evaluation system are how well the individual does his or her job and the qualities the individual brings to the job. It is important for supervisors to help subordinates understand their strengths and weaknesses and how their efforts contribute to the mission. Supervisors must understand how and when to employ the officer and enlisted evaluation systems and the civilian performance program. Access to evaluations. Evaluations are for official use only and are subject to the Privacy Act. They are exempt from public disclosure under DODM 5400.07-R/AFMAN33-302 Freedom of Information Act Program and AFI 33-332 Air Force Privacy and Civil Liberties Program. Only persons with the agency who have a proper need to know may read evaluations. The office with custodial responsibility determines if a person's official duties require access. Classified information should not be included in any section of evaluation forms or on attachments to evaluations, referral documents, or endorsements to referral documents. Specific instructions for completing evaluations with reference to proper formatting, appropriate raters, evaluators, additional raters, content, acronym use, classified information, and other details are found in AFI 36-2406 Officer and Enlisted Evaluation Systems. 8.6 Performance Evaluation Uses. The Officer and Enlisted Evaluation Systems should be used with the following objectives in mind. 1. Establish performance standards and expectations for ratees, meaningful feedback on how well the ratee is meeting those expectations, and directions on how to better meet those established standards and expectations. 2. Provide a reliable, long-term, cumulative record of performance and promotion potential based on that performance. 3. Provide officer selection boards, enlisted evaluation boards, and personnel managers with sound information to assist in identifying the best qualified personnel for promotion, as well as other personal management decisions. 4. Document in the permanent record any substantiated allegation of a sex-related offense against an airman, regardless of grade, that results in conviction by court-martial, non-judicial punishment, or other punitive administrative action. 8.7 Performance Evaluation Forms and Documentation. There are a number of forms, as listed below, used to document performance and potential over the course of a ratee's career. These forms are considered when making promotion recommendations, selections or propriety actions, selective continuations, involuntary separations, selective early retirements, assignments, school nominations and selections, and other management decisions. AF Form 77, Letter of Evaluation, Multipurpose Evaluation Form. AF Form 475, Education Training Report, used in education and training environments. AF Form 707, Officer Performance Report, Lieutenant through Colonel. AF Form 910, Enlisted Performance Report, AB through Tech Sergeant. AF Form 911, Enlisted Performance Report, Master Sergeant through Senior Master Sergeant. AF Form 912, Enlisted Performance Report, Chief. Note: the ratee's grade or projected grade on the statistic closeout date is used to determine the appropriate performance report form. 8.8 Performance Evaluation Responsibilities. Unit commanders are responsible for ensuring all first-time supervisors receive mandatory officer evaluation system and/or enlisted evaluation system training, as applicable within 60 days of being appointed as a rater. Additionally, Air Force members should receive annual recurring evaluation system training. How and when this training is conducted is at the unit commander's discretion. Unit commanders must conduct a record review of all personnel assigned to and/or transferred into his or her command to ensure knowledge of and familiarization with the airman's history of sex-related offenses resulting in conviction by courts-martial, non-judicial punishment, or other punitive administrative action. This is accomplished to reduce the likelihood that repeat offenses will escape the notice of current, subsequent, or higher-level commanders. Review of the record will be conducted by the immediate commander of the airman at the lowest unit level. These responsibilities will not be delegated. Raters and additional raters must consider the contents of unfavorable information files or personal information files when preparing a performance evaluation. They must assess the ratee's performance, what the ratee did, how well he or she did it, and the ratee's potential based on that performance throughout the rating period. Ratees must review evaluations prior to them becoming a matter of record. This is the time to bring typos, spelling errors, and inaccurate data to the attention of the rater. When the ratee signs the evaluation, he or she is not concurring with the content, but rather acknowledging receipt of the completed evaluation and certifying they have reviewed the evaluation for administrative errors. If the ratee disagrees with any comments and/or ratings on the report, the ratee may file an appeal after the evaluation becomes a matter of record. 8.9. Documenting performance. Bullet format is mandatory. Bullets are limited to a minimum of 1 line and a maximum of 2 lines per bullet. White space is authorized. Main bullets begin at the left margin and will have 1 space after the dash. For additional guidance on bullet writing, refer to the bullet background paper in AFH 33-337, the tongue and quill. Although the tongue and quill allows 3 lines per bullet, evaluations will not have more than 2 lines per bullet. Note, in very rare and unique cases, evaluations may be handwritten only when authorized by Headquarters Air Force or Air Reserve Personnel Center as appropriate. The U.S. President or Vice President may handwrite evaluations. Adverse information. The expectation for performance evaluations is fair and equal treatment of all and enforcement of the same behavior in subordinates. The goal is for fair, accurate, and unbiased evaluations to help ensure the best qualified members are identified for positions of higher responsibility. Failure to document misconduct that deviates from the core values of the Air Force is a disservice to all airmen who serve with honor and distinction. Situations involving convictions or violations of criminal law must be handled appropriately and in accordance with required timelines and procedures. In all cases, when comments are included in performance evaluations, they must be specific, outlining the event and any corrective action taken. Comments such as conduct unbecoming or an error in judgment led to an off-duty incident are too vague. Examples of valid comments are Master Sergeant Smith drove while intoxicated, for which he received an Article 15, and Captain Jones made an improper sexually suggestive and harassing comments to a squadron member, for which he received a letter of reprimand. Some aspects of performance that may need to be considered when preparing an accurate assessment of behavior include impact of the misconduct on the Air Force as an institution. Did it bring discredit on the Air Force? Impact of the misconduct on and its relationship to the ratee's duties. Did it affect the ratee's ability to fulfill assigned duties? Impact of the misconduct on the Air Force mission. Did the mission suffer in any way? Was unit morale affected? Grade, assignment, and experience of the ratee. Is the ratee in a sensitive job? Did the ratee know better? Number of separate violations and frequency of the misconduct. Is this an isolated or repeated incident? Consequences of the misconduct. Did it result in death, injury, or loss of, damage to military or civilian property? Other dissimilar acts of misconduct during the reporting period. Is the ratee establishing a pattern of misconduct? Existence of unique, unusual, or extenuating circumstances. Was the misconduct willful and unprovoked, or were there aggravating factors or events? Adverse actions. For the purpose of this policy, an adverse action includes reportable civilian offenses or convictions other than convictions for motor vehicle violations that do not require a court appearance. Specifically, convictions required to be reported include 1. Any finding of guilt, 2. Any plea of guilty, 3. Any plea of no contest or nolo contendere, 4. Any plea of guilty in exchange for a deferred prosecution or diversion program, or 5. Any other similar disposition of civilian criminal charges. In the event a commander or military law enforcement official receives information that a member of the Air Force, under the jurisdiction of another military department, has become subject to a conviction for which a report is required by this section, the commander or military law enforcement official receiving such information shall forward it to the member's immediate commander. Complaints of sex-related offenses against a member, regardless of grade, resulting in conviction by court-martial, non-judicial punishment, or punitive administrative action require a mandatory notation on the member's next performance report or training report and promotion recommendation form, if not already documented on an evaluation or court-martial in the selection record. Sex-related offenses include violations of the Uniform Code of Military Justice or attempts to commit related offenses. If a member has been convicted by a court-martial, or if the senior rater decides to file any adverse information in an airman's selection record, comments relating to the ratee's behavior are mandatory on the ratee's next performance or training report and promotion recommendation form, if not already documented on an evaluation or court-martial in the selection record. The evaluation becomes a referral for the performance report or training report. Extraordinary cases. Raters may request a waiver of the mandatory requirement to document civilian convictions for good cause. The waiver request will route from the rater through any required additional rater and the ratee's commander to the ratee's senior rater and, if endorsed, be forwarded to the Major Command Commander or authorized final approval authority.